Being a pro athlete has not only helped me in so many ways physically, it has also helped me spiritually. In this video, I'm going to be sharing how being an athlete has strengthened my faith in God and how I've grown tremendously in my faith. So if you guys are interested in hearing a little bit about my testimony, you're going to want to keep watching. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cindy Sember. For those of you who do not know who I am a track and field athlete, and I like to use my platform to share how I'm getting better in my sport, tips to share with you guys. I like to share my life with my husband. So if this is something that you're interested in, you're going to want to consider subscribing because I like to produce content weekly and you guys are in for a treat with some of my new stuff coming out. So I want to talk a little bit about how my faith has played a role in my career. So for those of you who don't know much about me, I was born a Christian and I like to use my platforms to talk a lot about my faith. So growing up, I was born as a Catholic Christian and I got baptized when I was 6 months, probably even younger. I can't remember. I think I might have been even 4 months. I was very young when I got baptized. But it wasn't until I got a bit older where I started to develop a faith for myself. A lot of my faith strengthened a lot through sports because I have seen God work in my life in tremendous ways that I can't even explain sometimes. So when I was about, I would say 8 years old is when I started seeing God work in my life personally. Growing up, my parents always taught me, you need to go to church, follow the commandments, and that was great. And I'm very, very happy they instilled this faith in me. But it wasn't until, like I said, I started seeing things for myself that I was able to understand a little bit more what it looked like to be a Christian, as well as a Christian athlete. When I was 8 years old, I started questioning a lot about God and asking more questions and trying to figure out, what does faith really look like? Why do we have a faith? Why is God, all that stuff. I wanted to know more and understand more. And my parents would answer and they did their part. I always wanted to grow in my faith, even from a young age. Fast forward to my teenage years when I entered into high school, I started playing a lot more sports. I started becoming a lot more active and I started to use the gifts that God gave me as a young professional, or not professional, but as a young person. So as I started to use these gifts more and more, I started seeing that I was blessed with an athletic ability. My siblings all were athletes in their years when they were younger, and so I knew that I could be an athlete as well, seeing how well they did. It wasn't until I was probably 16 that I started seeing that I actually could use sports to really make an impact in my life, go to school for it and potentially become a professional athlete, which I am now today. And in that whole process, I had seen God work. So I started playing volleyball when I was around the teenage years, when I was 16. And I was convinced that this was a sport that I was going to play for my career. And I was like, this is what I'm doing. I had this plan in my head and nobody could tell me anything. Well, this plan was not working out the way I wanted it to. And I wasn't really quite understanding why, if I did all the hard work, everything I needed to do, why the results weren't coming. And I had no idea why I wasn't getting offers to schools or becoming a better version of myself with the sport. I just realized this wasn't for me. I didn't understand it. And then I tried out for track and field, and it wasn't until I got to that sport that I saw God truly make an impact in my life. He started showing me that this is what he wanted me to do, and there was a reason behind me running track, and I had no idea at the time that he was going to use this sport to share so many things down the path with me that will essentially strengthen my faith in him and grow me as a Christian and help me become a leader in different ways that I couldn't be without this sport. Senior year of high school, I had a really bad meet that really discouraged me from wanting to continue to run track. I was very discouraged. I was really sad. I was really down. And I used this time to really reflect on my life. I was asking God, why did you bring me to this sport for things to not go well? I do not want to run track. I don't like how it's making me feel. I didn't really ask God to guide my steps at the time. And I kept on getting this vision of, be patient. Your time will come. And I never knew what that meant at the time. I was just patient for what? I don't know what this patience thing is. And I was just very, very discouraged all the time. And then eventually he started working things out so clearly. And I just continued to trust in him. And I prayed and I asked him, I said, Lord, show me what it is you want me to see with this sport, and I'll continue doing it. And oddly enough, God really did listen. He does listen to our prayers, you guys. So we go out and we ask. And I didn't realize that until later in life. And so he made it clear that he wanted me to run in college, and I started, running so much faster, almost very much effortlessly. I mean, obviously I put in the work, but it wasn't anything compared to all the effort I was putting into my other plans with volleyball and, my path, that I started to see him work. And so it just made me realize that if God has a plan for you, he's going to direct your paths, and it's not going to feel as hard as it needs to be. Like when you're on the same page with God, it's going to be very congruent. It's going to be in alignment with your life. It's going to feel almost effortless. And that's what I started noticing with track. At the time, I was frustrated because things weren't going well, but then once he started like guiding me and like I started getting on the same page and praying and asking and having daily conversations with him, things worked out. So fast forward to a few years, I'm in college, I got a scholarship to the university. I was so happy. I finally did what I knew I needed to do, and had some more trials and things in college. But as I was in my early 20s, I got into college, I got distracted by so many people in the school. I was not one of those people who wanted to be like the crowd, but I definitely had some temptations here and there to be like everybody else and do all the things. And it was very easy in college to lose my faith and to not be following God. But I still went to church, I still did what I needed to do, but my relationship with him was not strengthening. It was just kind of like going through the motions. And it wasn't until I graduated college and my first year as a professional athlete where I ruptured my Achilles tendon, and I talked a lot about that in my previous videos if you guys want to go watch them in this video here. It wasn't until that time that I was in a rut, you guys. I got super sad. I didn't really know how to move forward with where I was in my life, and it was very frustrating. And so I spent a lot of time asking the Lord to help me to figure out who I was, to show me who I was outside of track, because I was hurt and I had nothing else pretty much to do. When you don't have that thing that you feel like gives you worth, you have to search outside of that. And he definitely showed me who I was outside of track, and that's kind of how this YouTube channel started, and how I was able to see so many other things in my life, how I was able to develop community with other people and meet new friends that I wouldn't have met if it wasn't for that time in my life. So I'm very grateful that I went through that time. As much as I didn't like it at the time, I am happy with all the lessons he showed me. As I went through that time period, I spent more time praying. I went to the church a lot more to spend time with God. I journaled a lot more. I read my Bible. I would read different spiritual books. I developed community with people in faith as well, and I met some really good Christian friends. And it was just that time where, you know, it was a very hard time on the track for me. Very, very difficult for me to see myself not performing and not training and not doing the things that I thought God was leading me to do. And I did not know that was the time he wanted me to develop such a strong faith and leading me into my second half of my professional career. So, and now as I am in my, I guess, third, fourth year as a pro, it's really hard to qualify because I took a year and a half off because of my injury. I'm very much more strengthened. I have a deeper faith in Jesus. I know who I am. I know that sports are meant to be something that I do and I can use as a tool to help you guys and to impact others, as well as, you know, make money. But it's not who I am, and that's something I had to learn the hard way, and that's kind of how my faith developed and strengthened. And so through track and through developing a relationship with God, I learned of not only who I am, but whose I am, and also how to continue to use my gifts in a way that I didn't know how to use them previously. So now I am so much more confident in who I am. I have a deeper relationship, and I pray more, and I do all these things that may have not happened in the past. So I say all this to say that my faith has played a huge, huge role in who I am as an athlete, and being an athlete has really strengthened my faith as well, because I've gone through so many hardships, so many things that I wouldn't have gone through had I not been running track. So yeah, that's kind of how my faith has gotten stronger. I just want to give anybody some encouragement to know that if you feel like the Lord is calling you towards a path and it's not making sense right now, just continue to trust him, pray to him, and ask him to reveal to you why he has you on this path. And he might not always show you what it is he wants to do with that journey for you, but he will be with you and he will guide you. It will begin to feel effortless if you trust in him, and he's just gonna get you there. And I don't know how he does the things he does for me, but I will say that having a strong relationship with God, being an athlete, all that is going together. And I know that if I have a good race, if I have a bad race, I know that he's with me, and I know that my faith is what's gonna get me through the hard times, the difficult moments when a race might not go well, the times of feeling worthless. All that stuff has now becomes much easier because I now know God in a way that I did not know him before. So that's just my testimony. I hope that encourages somebody out there. If you guys have more questions about faith or just questions in general, definitely leave them in the comments below. I love talking about Jesus. If you guys want any tips on how I've been able to strengthen my faith, definitely leave it down below. But I hope you guys enjoy this video, and definitely give it a like if you enjoyed it. and I will see you in my next one. Bye. Oh, breathe, honey, breathe. I did a lot of that due to, wow, I cannot speak right now. What is going on? Okay.